Look who got a new camera and looks like super professional. New laptop too. All my new gear showed up. How y'all doing today? I put this thing on. Do that. Come into the comments. Make sure this is actually working. Hope you guys can hear me. I assume that this thing is working. It seems awesome. Not used to this high definition. Kind of strange. It's really messing with my face. It's making me look kind of older, right? See that? And what's hilarious is I got all this gear like an hour ago, right? So I was like fiddling with it and trying to figure it all out. And like, I couldn't get the autofocus square off my face. So wherever I moved, it was like following me, but it was on the screen. So I had to go to manual focus. So here I am manually focused. Hope you guys are having a great day. Markets are complete, utter nonsense right now, as you guys know. All markets. That's cool. Someone said I'm too bright. So look, I made it less bright. Absolute mayhem, right? So it is Wednesday, January 27th at 2:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, I am Scott Melker. And what we're doing here is taking charting requests from the paid subscribers to the Wolf Den newsletter. You can see the link for that if you want to join and send a request in the description. Also sponsored by Femex. You can see their thing, I think, going along here. Look, I preloaded some mama jokes for you guys, so you can read those. Pretty funny. So you guys asked for a whole lot of charts. So we're going to dig into those momentarily. As you can see, that's where you sign up for the newsletter right there. Someone said he wants some of the Coke I'm trying, bro. Gimme. First of all, this is coffee, and I know you mean this Coke, but I want to make sure you don't mean this Coke. And also, I'm high on life, bruh. We don't need drugs to have this sort of loud, obnoxious personality. Brent asked if my parents are watching yet. I'm sure my mom's here. Hi, Mom. Hey, how do you like my new camera, Mom? Pretty cool, right? All right, so without further ado, I say we just dig into the charts that you guys asked for, and at the end, we can head back to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Take a look at those. So there aren't quite as many this week. Last week, you had like 35 charts or something. So let's start now. Let me make sure. ALGO. So as you know, I do not delete, change any of the charts because I want to see my bad ideas as much as my good ideas. So this is obviously a weekly chart for ALGO Bitcoin. You can see that we have this key resistance, which we touched, same as last week when someone asked for it. I mean, in my mind, I want to be doing this. Wow, guys. This computer, like, I can actually draw a line and it goes where I want. I bet the screen will load really fast too. Let's see. Let's reload it. Remember how long it was taking me to reload before? I had good internet. It's just 2012 laptop. So yeah, I mean, that's what I really want to see from this. But let's zoom in a little bit to the daily. I have no idea what's been drawn here at any given moment. But yeah, we did have this, and this was a trade that we shared actually right here at about 14.15. So that's a nice trade. The exit of this descending channel and the retest of this support. So that's actually nice. And then it flipped this one as well. So like if you're trading this on the daily, at this point, you've got these retests, but you can enter at a kind of point and you're looking for a move like that. Wow, I can't even like draw the same. It's a look at it. It went right on the line. It's amazing. Yeah, I need to make sure I'm live on Periscope. I should be. Yeah. And so, anywhere from here, targeting here. But ultimately, the break of this channel should be taking us sort of back to this level. And if you're, I don't know, if you're trading it, maybe you put a stop like, here or something. If it breaks down to avoid a wick. If you're really trying to be more conservative, stop down here below this support. You definitely don't want to be trading this down kind of below this area, I don't think. So even zoom in a little bit more, see what we can see. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. The only thing I would question here is if this makes a bear div, which it did. Ta-da, I can always kind of tell when they're happening. You have this big one here, but that's kind of over a long period of time from here to here. But then you have one here. But what you're going to look for when you see a bear div, right? So you have an over, whoa. I don't know if y'all saw that. My screen just went crazy. So you have this, it's got to be red if it's bearish, right? So you got an overbought sort of bear div vibe happening here, right? It's not exact, but, and coming out of overbought, eventually this will get to oversold. It always does. Doesn't mean it can't do one of these where it goes, you know, kind of, and then comes back, but it always makes the trip. Doesn't mean price can't go sideways while it does it, but what we're looking for now is to kind of cancel this bullish, bearish divergence, is for us to have, you know, this close below here with price closing above there, and then a definitive move up on our side. And that's likely what we would actually see if price sort of trickled down here a little bit, right? Without making it lower. So I think algo kind of looks fine even with that bear div, but I would be cautious. I don't see a reason you would buy it at this exact price, but perhaps if you're in it, you're not too worried and you're just kind of looking for stops and take profits, which I think you could use any of these lines for that. Save it. Oh, I told you guys I would close charts as I went. I just remembered that. Like the memory of an elephant. I'm kind of a genius. Oh, those jokes. If those jokes aren't funny, I got some other ones for you. Just wait. Yeah. Is a bear div a good way to take profit? It can be. It just depends on if you're taking like a swing trade for a year, it doesn't matter if there's a bear div on the 4-hour chart, right? But if you're trading kind of a shorter time frame, something like that, then yeah, you can consider it. Someone just got some Kleenex. Man, that's cold. There's something wrong with my nose. Sniffly, I got allergies. Allergic person. All right, so let's see, AST. Look how it's been so long I've opened this chart that it has MACD on it. And some weird pink lines. And also an Ichimoku cloud, and also some weird thing that tells you overbought and oversold. Yeah, my allergies are actually kind of crazy today. I mean, the cloud's not showing us anything so interesting. Ooh, daily cloud is. Go in here. Turn that off. I'm not bothered with it. All right. First of all, F the MACD. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Daryl's. The burgers are Ronald's. Who knows that rap song? Like, I'm just going to delete all this nonsense. I'm going to keep the cloud on here, though, because it's kind of fun. And I'm even going to delete the 50 MA is in there somewhere. This blue one. You got the Tenkin, which is the shorter moving average, and the Kijun, right? And we're below a massive red cloud, finding strong resistance. Interesting. This is going to be a strong resistance. So what you want to see if you're trading the HE cloud, you want to see price close in the cloud. I said in the crowd, which isn't that funny unless you're thinking about the fact that the Ichimoku cloud is Japanese and cloud, the crowd, right? L's, R's, L's. And so, you know, you want to look inside, find support at the bottom and target the top. And this flat Kumo top, the Kumo cloud, these are strong resistance. So, you know, your target, if you were trading this, would be up here around 960, which, by the way, is more than double. I'm not saying we're going there, because more than likely you find resistance at the cloud, like all of these. I mean, the last time we were above it was last September, right? And only briefly. If you're looking for a signal to close a short, if you were short using the cloud, a Tenkin cross up of the Kijun, so the blue line crossing the brown line below the cloud, is not a symbol to go long. That golden cross is not a symbol to go long. It's a symbol to close shorts. So if you're above the cloud and you see a bearish cross of those two, you close your longs, but it's not a short signal necessarily if you are a cloud trader. Just so you guys know that. I used to be a cloud maximalist. There was a time when it was the only indicator that I used for trading. So I would say that here on the daily, you want to see it close in the cloud. Not to be confused with crows in a crowd, which would be a pretty cool band name. There are crows in that crowd. You know, getting rid of the cloud or not paying attention to it. This is a nice flip. Really nice. So above this, you should be going up if you didn't have that cloud there. If it does drop, you can pull up, a zone right here where there's probably demand. Price exited hard from there, so there should be leftover bids. And if you're looking for resistance, all kinds of resistance here. Let's actually draw lines. I like something through there. Something through here-ish. Maybe here, something like that. And then look at how many times price was in this area. So, like I said, these are zones, not necessarily like exact lines, but like support, strong breakdown, resistance. That's what you're looking for from a line. You want to see theoretically, not just support, but you want to see it flipped and turned to resistance or vice versa. If you have a clean reaction on both sides, it's a strong line. And ultimately that line around 937, which is very strong, is around the Kumo top. So you can kind of look at that area. So I would say the AST, it's fine above this area, but this is an ugly candle and you're getting rejected at the cloud. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it trickle down. And also be remiss not to say that there's probably a ascending channel of some sort here, higher highs and lows. I don't know if it'll be exact, but hard to miss, something like that, right? 1, 2, 3. I don't usually cut a wick, but 1, 2, 3 touches. So if you break this channel down, you can expect to be going down. That's AST. BZRX. I gotta check something real quick. I'm not sure if the person wanted this on the USDT pair. I don't think they did. So let me see if I pulled up the wrong chart. I don't even care. Let's make a new one. The RX. Let's name it. Let's change my theme to gray. Pull up some sort of template so that we can get rid of whatever. Okay. Quick, right? That workflow, bruh. Fine. I'm not looking at your comments, but did anyone get Run DMC earlier? I hope. It's McDaniel's, not McDonald's. It's Ron's are Daryl's. The burgers are Ronald's. If not, then you guys are weak hip-hop historians and should go back to the drawing board and also find some self-respect because they are one of the greatest rap groups of all time, and everyone knows that lyric. So yeah, listen, you could draw a line down here. I kind of like this one broke down, but this area obviously is clean support. Listen, we have a lot of alts that have made a move up and they're kind of retracing. That probably means they'll come down and find some support, right? And if you were drawing some supply and demand on this, yikes, that didn't go well. This is the big move down here after the consolidation. So you draw it here and you see that that's exactly where it got rejected, right? Pierced all the way through. So you imagine that next time it comes through, it shouldn't have as much resistance because it's pierced that twice and taken out those orders. So you're kind of ranging between these two in my mind here on the daily. Zoom into the 4-hour. I mean, everyone's going to look at this and scream head and shoulders, but left, head, right, strong volume in the head, but it's irrelevant unless you get another shoulder and you break this line. This would be the neckline. So you'd be looking for another shoulder here and a break, and you'd need volume on that break. So I'm not too concerned, especially with this. You have a golden cross here. Who cares? And sort of a touch of the 50 MA on the 4-hour. I know a lot of guys who really like the 200 on the 4-hour. So maybe you look for that as support. If it drops. Sorry, somebody told me not to chew ice. Not to chew ice and not to swallow on the mic. So go do it over there. Yeah, I mean, this got rejected here. Not really a sign yet that it's heading back up. So I'd be looking to kind of catch a knife. But once again, not much to see here. I wonder if there was any sort of divergence, but I'd be looking for, you want to either do, kind of this to here, or, like this, catch it there and head up. I don't know, not much to see. I mean, we could go in super zoomy. Yeah, it looks kind of just sort of head and shoulders-y. Doesn't matter. Like I said, you can't trade it, but it does not. I mean, there's nothing kind of like bullish about what's happening here. I would chill on that for now. Find something better to do with your life. Come back to the comments over here for a second. Your mom's so fat her blood type is ragu. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic. What was the cloud called? Ichimoku, Supertrend, and OBV. Someone asked if you want a good schooling on Supertrend. I did a live stream with Income Sharks recently. You can just look at it on YouTube, and he uses Supertrend exceptionally well. So I would just go check that out. It's not my not an indicator that I use, but it's pretty straightforward. Your mama really? Yeah, I got your mama jokes. Let's go back to wherever we were. Are we on Chili's? Barca coin? I don't know. Something like that, but low, high, higher low needs to break here to make a higher high. I don't know about any of these lines. This is an old chart. They're zooming out. We clearly have a major. This is your real picture, right? I mean, as ridiculous as it seems, you don't really care until it breaks this. Like, look, I'll just go ahead, come back in a year. Probably in this market, if this was GameStop, it would break it in like 30 seconds. Right? Put an alarm on that. When it breaks, consider a play. This is kind of savage. This looks bear flaggy on that. Right? I know it's not exactly a bear flag, the ascending, broadening wedge or something. Just doesn't look great. And also, I would say that you have a very clear little resistance here, but this could make for something interesting. Yet this is interesting. Let's look. This doesn't really necessarily count, but you could have sort of an ascending triangle here, right? You would have wanted a deeper candle before that move up, but you know, something like this or whatever, doesn't matter. This, right? So if you break this line with these two touches, should be heading up. So I would say that if you get a break here, kind of do that. I had something very similar that I just posted on Sirius XM that broke out. It's up like 20%. Very similar. So that's more like if you take, this is where it's all, you know, bullish or bearish bias or whatever you feel. If it's an ascending triangle, it's kind of bullish. You know, if you draw it as a ascending wedge, it's bearish, right? Look at that. Such a scrub. Delete. So like if you drew it from here, it'd be more bearish. But I think that that actually looks fine. So, and you can clearly use like this line as a breakdown, certainly this one, if you're feeling a different way. But none of these are like, honestly, nothing right now is screaming, hey, buy me. Where's Bitcoin? Oh, Bitcoin bounced up again. My God, we're going to talk about that later. Keeps thinking, what data? I don't know what you are. Don't know what you are, but I got some EMAs on it. EMAs on it. That'd be cool if it was the five EMA and I could sing, I got 5 on it, but I got like 21 and 50 on it. Who knows who sang that song? I got 5 on it. Anyone? Anyone? Someone just said, can you look at BZRX USDT? I'm just going to go back to that really quick because I did have it open and there's a chance that I just had it right in the first place. I don't know which one of these is even USD, whatever. Yeah, well it looked fine. Data. So, I mean, these all look the same, right? They all kind of like went up and have savage wicks and have dropped. Hey guys, is my live stream like higher quality now? Do I seem more like a YouTuber? Oh, you have to smash like buttons. Don't forget to smash the like button. I have to tell you that because now I'm a YouTuber who YouTubes. Did anyone get I got 5 on it? Yeah. Bart. Loonies. Okay. I like that BitArt said Lunix, which I think is a camera. Thomas said Bone Thugs and Harmony. Sorry, man. I'll see you at the crossroads, though. So you won't be lonely. I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all. That's the best, most epic line of that song. Why to kill my dog again? I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all. They want to be gone, want to be his home. So I'm gonna lean on it. We pray and we pray and we pray and we pray. Remember when they used to be able to make songs about like praying and people would listen to them? I mean, MC Hammer literally had a song. That's why we pray. Pray. I guess Justin Bieber is like super Christian now, so they're doing that again. Data, yeah, it's fine above here. I would say kind of rugged below there. I do not like these wicks, right? Every time it's kind of gotten up, savage selling. Not great. Crossroads is actually kind of like Bone Thugs. It's a great song, but it's kind of their like not their best song. Thuggish Ruggish Bone is better. First of the month, my God. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up. But I like Thuggish Ruggish Bone a lot. They feel the strength that walk the top and rugged stay bugging your peoples because we so real chill. Go to give your weapon, your strap and bring on that ammunition, simping, no simping, not to mention, never do no competition. Right. I don't see any reason to really trade this right here. We got a lot of lines, but yes, I'm weird, guys. It is known. My wife, like what's happening right now is what my wife, my parents as well. Hi, Mom. They deal with it every day. I communicate in rap songs and make jokes. I got nothing on data, really. This also looks like it's about to make a head and shoulders. Not loving alts right now. Looking through all these charts, right? Faked out there. So if you see a breakdown, 1, 2, 3, this is how you find your target. I'm glad that I'm looking at a chart and not at your comments because I'm scared. So you'd have a target way down here, right? Which would be around the lows. Not touching that. Coming in here. Why don't you do a chart on eGold to educate people because it has good technology, implementation, strong charts. I chart eGold probably more than any human person has ever charted any chart. I'm not going to do it right now, but I do it all the time. Notorious Thugs, so good. Somebody said Notorious Thugs up there. I actually did a remix of that. It's somewhere. I've never put it out, but man, Biggie and Bone Thugs, hard to beat that. What do you think about pivot points and drawing support and resistances via that? I like pivots. I don't use them as much. My mentor, Chris, uses them all the time. What I like about pivots is that they're not arbitrary. It's, they're determined mathematically based on closes, mid-range, and opens. So they're not arbitrary. Someone can't argue that you have a stupid pivot, right? Anyone who's wondering what charts you're going to see, who keep requesting charts, look at the tabs on the top. My face is not in the way of them anymore. Ooh, my shirt says all like y'all because I'm Southern, but I'm not Southern, but I live in the South. Let's look at hard. Went up since we talked last. That's cool. These fibs are actually really interesting because I would draw a line right through here and I would definitely draw a support right through there because that breaks right here. I'm assuming that's why we did this last time. And look at that. The 78.6 is literally at the top of all these candles rejection. So, this is not the most beautiful daily candle at the moment, but a doji like that mean more indecision than necessarily going down. And this is an important point is that people scream all the time about bearish candles. A candle isn't bearish until you see what candle comes next, right? You have to get confirmation from the next candle. So you could have a candle like this and then it goes up and you say, okay, the indecision was that it was just taking a pause. If it comes down and the next candle looks like this, you have a bit of an evening star and you expect a reversal. So this candle doesn't matter until you see what the next candle is. But this is a really nice rounding bottom pattern. So I would expect this to continue to go up even if it consolidates a little. So maybe anywhere above 2266 here, you're feeling pretty good. Continuing up. That wasn't so hard. Coming back to the chat for a second. Jonas Hansen. Oh, I forgot I can do this. Look at this. See that? I can bring your questions up. What do you think is the best way to improve as a new trader? Pick your positions very carefully. Don't take too many and step away from the charts once you've decided to take a trade. I think the best way is not to overanalyze a trade once you're in it. Go for a jog, kiss your wife, you know, do something, but don't sit there and stare at it, because what new traders do is they paralysis by overanalysis. They look too deeply into it and they start making emotional decisions in the middle of a trade. Dia, question mark. No Dia for you. No Dia for you. No soup for you. Holy, I don't know what LUMN Technologies is, but is it on Wall Street Bets or something? Like, was this heavily shorted? Because the only reason I think about stocks now is whether they're being shorted heavily or not, and if Wall Street Bets is going to pump them. It's crazy, but that's really like where I'm at. So I would kind of draw this area right here. Why? Okay, this is what you would call, some would call a bearish, sort of. It's a good example though. A bearish breaker, right? This is a clean demand zone. Whatever. It's not exactly right. It would be thicker. It'd be more like, I just can't see it. Something like this. So you would expect this to hold as demand, right? And it breaks through usually on a single candle, but here even more aggressively on a gap. But if you saw one candle through and no support there, it becomes a potential bearish breaker. This works in the opposite direction, bullish breaker, of course. So what was a key support area likely becomes resistance. And look what happened, right? It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts to finally break through. So it's a demand zone that flips to supply. If it was a bullish breaker, it would be a supply zone that you expected to be resistance, flips to support. But what a flip that is. I don't know if they just like cured cancer or someone punched COVID in the chest. I was going to say balls, but I thought my mom might be here. Punch COVID in the balls. They cured the COVID and went crazy. But that doesn't look natural. We're parabolic. It's hard to trade this, but if you are a trader and you're dying, there's your line. Had a potential SFP through it there. If this closes below that line, I think this is an epic short, personally. If it closes above, you look for this. Might even have to zoom out to find a target. I don't know what the rest of this chart looks like. Your target is, somewhere up here. $24-ish. You got a gap here that's never been closed. Maybe you run that gap into here, $21. Yeah, something like that. But hard to touch this. If you had said yesterday, hey, Scott, should I buy this at $11? I would have said, no, it's at resistance, dummy. It's $15, so it's up like 50%. But yeah, bearish breaker, cool. So yeah, above this or wait for a retrace or short it. Although it's hard to short something that aggressive. MATIC. Oh, sweet MATIC. You finally decided to show some sack. Get your life together. I mean, that line's ugly because it rode it all the way down, but there is, all these touches, and it doesn't matter. It's broken descending resistance, so let's worry about that. And then you kind of had this area break, but now this is the key break, and look, almost looks like a SFP, almost strong break. Yet another sort of shooting star, potential ugly doji right into resistance. So the trade here, for me, there's two trades, right? That and up, or this and up. Pretty easy. I'm bad at drawing with a mouse. It's like real jerky mouse hands. But this looks kind of nice. And I would say that you want to see the candles closing above this. So, yeah, that's another one. So maybe you catch it there at 125. I mean, all of this is so determined upon what Bitcoin decides to do, right? I mean, you wouldn't want to see this Zoros or candle followed by a red candle necessarily. So I'd be looking down here if that happens. All right, coming back to the chat. Coming back. Hey, Scott, what do you think of RSR? 2 more charts. Oh, I don't have a camera. Hey, my camera's back on. Look, I didn't even know I turned into stripes. Guys, I turned into stripes. Hey, Scott, why do you talk so much? Because I don't like you and I want you to leave. Okay. Yeah, I mean, these guys really want to see Scott's face. Yeah, apparently it only gets 30 minutes and I wasn't paying attention. I had to do the thing and I don't know how to make it do more than 30 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know now what I was doing, but going to go back to MMEDF, Mind Medicine, Mind Med Inc. Don't know what you are, but you're sitting on the 50 MA on the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily. I don't know, man. So first thing that jumps out to me, obviously, hey, Scott, why do you talk so much? I literally just explained to all of you that I never stop talking. I thought I was pretty clear about that. It's one of those things, like if you have a problem with something that you're voluntarily doing, maybe don't do it. Maybe leave. I don't know. Man, this is the worst stream I've ever been on. I'm going to stick around and see if it gets worse. This guy is so annoying. Listen to him for a while. Oh, you guys. Okay, so I view this sort of as a descending triangle, right? And everyone's going to scream bearish. We're all dead. But it's either 62 or 63. I never remember. It's from Bukowski, the pattern site. You guys should remember that. ThepatternSite.com if you want to see the statistics on patterns. 62 or 63% of the time in an uptrend, a descending triangle breaks up. So over 6 out of 10 times, this will break up and not down. And when you average it with any descending triangle up at a top or a bottom, it's about 53%. So you're in the 40%-ish range when they're down, still not that bad. But what does that tell us about descending triangle? It's viewed as a bearish pattern, but in reality, it works best as continuation in both cases. Right. So pretty simple. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. But this is kind of interesting that we have this line and the 50 MA here on the daily. But the trade on this is really easy. Don't touch it unless it breaks this and then, take it out. That wasn't even the right tool. I used the wrong tool because I'm a tool. Man, I really like when this guy charts. I just wish he wouldn't talk about it. The problem with these YouTube things is that they let people talk on them. Just do less talking. So yeah, I would not touch this unless it breaks here. That's really the gist of it. MMEDF. Does the pattern site also work for look. Does the pattern site also work for crypto? Yeah, a pattern's a pattern. Doesn't matter what chart it's on. Jonas, websites, books you can recommend for people trying to learn to trade. In the description, there's actually howtotradetowin.com. That is my mentor's course and his group. I'm not paid to promote that. It's just where I learned. And people ask me all the time. And so I think it's the best course. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. We totally need to legalize shrooms. It's true. Drugs should be legal. I agree with that. Yeah. I'm just scrolling back up real quick. Hey, this guy's complimenting me and he has a Lambo. So I'm just going to leave it there. You're one of the nicest guys in crypto. You get a lot of hate because these dudes are jealous as fuck. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. So it's like, I didn't say it. He said it. He's the one who said it, not me. I can't believe I let my camera go to rainbow. It's going to happen every time, by the way, guys. So plug power, my God. You guys should follow Shardy B on Twitter. She's awesome. She screamed at me to buy plug like 100 times. It's $66. I think she was telling me about it at $6, and I kept being like, I missed it. Thanks for the 10x. And she's trading at options, I think. So that's awesome. I've even charted it here, and it's followed every single letter. All this charting happened long before, you can see. And it like I did this when it was like here or something. I did each and one of these levels had flipped and turned to support perfectly. So maybe look for that to continue. But what I would say is worth watching is that this looks like top volume. Huge candle, not much increase in price, and a nice little wick. Not saying it'll go down, but I'm saying be careful. That's actually pretty impressive that it does not have bear divs doing it any of the way. But, RSI doesn't really matter at this point in the weekly, but you're at 88. I would look for this to cool off and come down to some of these other levels, maybe. But, I don't think there's anything invalid of what I wrote. It's hard when you go parabolic to decide when to sell. So what do? You just sell some at each level. Take 10% off, take 10% off, take 10% off. I do that all the time. You don't need to sell everything at once, right? Sell a little. So yeah, this is impossible to predict, to be honest. I would say that now we have to unexpectedly draw some more levels, which is cool. Magnet tool, turn on your magnet. Oh, shut up, Scott. You're talking too much on your live stream that I chose to attend. All right, plug. Hey guys, RSR, only 700,000 of you asked about it. It's the most popular coin in the world. It's hard to get on Huobi. It's the name of the exchange is Huobi. Nothing is happening on this coin. Nothing. Weakest breakout ever. No volume. Decreasing volume and ranging. Look at this when it goes either here. If you're really aggressive, you could take it on here and target here. See what happens. Maybe you get like this because that's the EQ of the channel. If the channel breaks, you sell it there. And these are your short trades if they happen. That's it. That's it. It seems ridiculous, but like this is like as sideways could be. There's nothing to trade here. I would say just be happy that this head and shoulders didn't play out. Right. You could do something like this. Nah, it doesn't matter. That's dumb. There's nothing to see on this chart. I know nobody wants to hear that. Let's zoom in though. Maybe we'll find something interesting. I would say there's something interesting, but not if you're bullish. Wrong tool. I'm being a tool, but the wrong tool. Something like this, right? I don't know. Don't like the top of that. Something like, either way, there's no way you can draw this where support hasn't broken. So I think that, if you were saying that all of this was some sort of ascending consolidation, any line you draw through here, looks like it's being retested and would head down further. So if it does head down further, those range lows on the daily are kind of this area, the 7,000-ish. Right. You can see that there. Sort of looks more like a channel here on the daily, something like this. Sending wedge, right? Breaks down, maybe comes down to here. The range lows is exactly where, there's more demand. I wouldn't trade it. Could be wrong. What are you gonna do? Coming back to the chat real quick. I'm gonna drink this over here. Can I chart and DJ at the same time? Yeah. So the answer is yes. I used to have some boring DJ gigs, and I would, trade or watch fantasy football. Yeah, I can trade while I'm doing this theoretically, but the DJing is probably more entertaining. I'm just scrolling up a little bit, see what's up. I missed most of your questions. Just what color pants should I wear while trading? I'm wearing gray pants. He really asked that. My pants are gray. Gray Adidas pants. I'm becoming like one of those mob dudes who only wears like the same variety of thing every day. They wore like, velour jumpsuits. I wear like, my wife bought me, because I told her to, like basically 6 pairs of these exact same pants in different colors for Christmas. And I wear them all the time. I don't need to wear real pants. What's the point? I don't go anywhere. Just don't do things with people. So I've never charted this RUNE USDT, but let's take a look. I would bet that there's probably some bear divs here. Bear div. That's barely bear div. Bear div. Should probably come down. Probably gonna see a drop eventually. Let's go into the 4 hours. Not much price history here. Yeah, I really like that line. I would take that if it came down. So look, when you're drawing a line, you start at the right and then you look left. And so you see the crosshairs. I'm assuming you can see that, but this is very obvious, right? Support, resistance, break, support, perfect support. This is a really strong line. If it comes down to 1.12, that's very viable, not to be confused with a Bible. That is not a Bible. I would say that you have sort of support here. So maybe if that break sets your signal to vamos out of here. Thought I just drew some other lines. It must have been on the 4 hour, but that's clear. This was the other one. Look, see, I made a mistake. I drew some lines. I didn't have all my time frames on. Put the day on. I can go back to the daily and it'll be there. See? Magic. I will say this. I don't know if it's the case, but zooming in, this does look like it's kind of bull flagging here. Yeah, we're going to see. You can't really use this candle, by the way. I did, but it's the present candle, so that could become completely irrelevant. But, I mean, yeah. This thing is bugging. Let's try this again from sort of here-ish. Something like this, right? And so this is cool. Maybe drop down to here, in the bull flag and then head up. So if this is a bull flag, if you see that break, just set an alarm. That's how you discern your target. That's the flagpole. And that's a great flagpole because it's literally all gray candles. There's like nothing bearish in there. And then wherever it breaks out, so like say it trickles down and breaks out here, that's how you discern your target. Bull flag. All right. RUNE. Hope I didn't ruin your day by talking so much. Everyone left to go to Wall Street bets? Probably. Very possible. That's very possible. Let's go back to THETA. I haven't looked at this in a while. Got excited. So this is the key area that we're watching now, I would say. Just there. You want to be above that. Right? I mean, that was the all-time high before. Then you had this new all-time high, but that was a bearish SFP, and that's right. Tons of liquidity, selling, dump. So let's say you got something like this. That's where I'd be looking, trading between. And then if you're really trying to zoom in, this is your sort of fresh support, right? So either here, you have a plan. I would maybe buy it here, and I would maybe buy it here, but only in this case, right? You identify that area, but it doesn't mean you buy it when it hits it. You buy it when it hits it on the way down. Yeah, I mean, all the MAs look good. That's the 21, 50, 200, all curled up, stacked in order of longest to shortest. It's what you want. Pretty bullish chart, but pretty bearish candle structure in the last 2 days. So like I would look for, retrace even back to here where there's this, all this cluster. That's kind of a simpler way to look at it. Just say like, listen, if it comes into this area where there was all this price action, I'll buy it. So if you don't like this line, maybe everywhere in here, spread some bids out. Put your stops down here, somewhere below this line down here. Because if you break this, you're heading down here probably. So you stop out here. Okay. Value, USDT. Yeah, I mean, all of these, last week I feel like we were saying, hey, everything's kind of near support. Now they're all near resistance. So simple as that. Or this. Right? And you maybe put your stops like here below this candle, something down there. Really simple. Really simple. You do not want to see this close below this line, especially if there's another candle that does it after that. Let's see if the 4 hours ever broken. Not even. Right. So this looks good, but you want to see above 4.6. Otherwise, you have a potential bearish SFB. Or maybe it just pushes through on the next candle. Totally possible, but closing up here, retesting, coming down. But this is generally bullish, right? Lows, highs, just keeps making higher lows, keeps making higher highs. That's good. It's good. Look, I'm going to touch the button. It's probably going to do something on my face. No, it didn't, but now it shouldn't go off. So value, YFL, Bitcoin, I didn't even know it had a BTC pair. That's news to me, but this is a trash chart. I mean, there's nobody's trading this. We can't even look at this. Too many gap. I mean, look at that. There's literally like candles where there's just nobody trading it. Let's look at YFL, USDT. I know you wanted the Bitcoin chart, but it's just, no, you can't chart it. Yes, I'm going to leave it. I mean, this pink area is where it's got to do or die through here. So when we had this double bottom, went way beyond its target, broke support. So I would want to really start seeing it close above here. I don't want to start being down here because then you're looking at this. I'm in it. I have a kind of just a bag that I don't think about whatever, but I've traded this a lot. So if you break this pink line, I would be looking for something down here. Really simple. Cool. So coming back to the chat for a minute, then we'll look very quickly at Bitcoin, Ethereum. Sorry, I failed to get you land that sweet interview, by the way. I don't know who we're talking about. Who was I supposed to interview? Wall Street Bets? Scott, normally if Bitcoin goes up 90%, alts drop. Will it be different this time? I have no idea, to be honest. The dream is kind of when Bitcoin price is going up, but Bitcoin dominance is dropping, which means that the dollar value of Bitcoin is going up, but you're also beating Bitcoin with your alts, which means that your alts are getting more Bitcoin, which is getting more dollars. That's where you want to be. That's the good stuff. Scott, you didn't sing Dia Dia Cha 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 today. Just point. I don't have the Dia 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 Cha 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 Dia Dia Cha Cha Cha. Hey, do I still look HD? Like, do I look focused? I feel focused. It's that coffee. Give you guys that dad joke again real quick. What time do you go to the dentist? 2:30. Okay, back to this. Sorry, I got distracted. You guys know I can like literally just hit you with a video. Did you see that coming? I'm going to start getting some better videos that I can just dump on you guys in the middle of a thing. Okay, so real quick, Ethereum BTC. I think this is interesting because we've seen kind of this aggressive movement down on Bitcoin, right? It's been bad today. It's really just sideways. It's ranging. We'll get into that, but Bitcoin, Ethereum is holding its own really well. It hasn't even budged against Bitcoin. And this is a confirmed inverse head and shoulders now that goes back to, I mean, you would start the pattern here, August of 2018, well over 2 years ago. Like, listen, it doesn't have to play out, but like, this is a huge pattern and it's retesting it as support. And this is your target. I know that line looks smaller than this one, this area, because it's a logarithmic chart. So it's by percentage, not by absolute price. But my God, man, what a pattern. I'll be over 50, over a 50% move. So I'm really kind of liking Ethereum. And, if you're not drawing the inverse head and shoulders, then your real breakout that everyone was concerned about came here anyways, and it's basically the same thing, right? You had this line. This was the highs, even this one, breaking above it. So hard not to like Ethereum here on the Bitcoin pair. So even if Bitcoin dumps, Ethereum USD is going to go down, right? It is. But if you're trying to get more Bitcoin, this might be a good way to do it. This is what, we have 8 minutes till confirmation. Stick around. But I think price needs to close a little higher. This is not definitive enough, but I've been watching these divs. It's on the 6 hour, which has 4 hours left. 12 hour has the same one from here to here. Potentially. None of these are closed. This is ugly. This would not be a div. You want to see that up and that up. But on the 4 hour, it's not there in there. We want to see that kind of thing, even a little higher like that, but also on RSI, that would be a pretty savage bottom signal. So we'll come back to that. This is what I've been watching on Bitcoin, is this range. We went longed it here. I longed here today, stopped out here, longed here, closed here, scalping all morning. It's fun. Not something I do that often, but we're still sweeping the range lows and there's still demand there, which is kind of blowing my mind. Like, this candle was down here until like 5-10 minutes left. And I was getting ready to post some more bearish TA. Like, okay, range bottom is broke. You short it here and head down, but we still haven't closed a candle down there. As long as we're in the range, you can be cautiously optimistic, although not irrationally exuberant. Like, we should still be targeting the mid-range here, 35.6, if we close in here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks below the range low. There's a lot of demand here. Doesn't mean sellers can't push through it, but sellers know now that they're going to need to have some real sack if they want to push down. They have to really push. But I'm really looking for that div. I'm going to come back to the thing and we'll check back in on that in a couple minutes. Comments. Ethereum USDT, I can do that. I mean, you know what you're going to see though, right? Continued rejection at the all-time high. 2 candles that have breached the all-time high and failed. By the way, I was using this as a lesson. This is not a double top. Don't worry about that. So yeah, I mean, I want to close above this. That's it. Like, at this point, your only trade in this area is this right here, and then a move up. You know what actually happens. What happened though is that it goes like this and you buy it and it comes down here and then goes up, whatever. But yeah, you want to flip this or test or take it down here and then like 900s around 1,000. If you can get that, you get a drop down there. But really hard to trade this right now against USD because that it's just going to do what Bitcoin does anyways, right? And you'd be remiss not to see that there's an ascending wedge here. Clear as day. All right. So listen, Bitcoin in a bull run like breaks bearish ascending wedges like it's going out of style. It's like a 90% chance. So Ethereum maybe does the same. But in theory, that's a bearish pattern and the target is down here at the beginning of the wedge. So right around $900. If it did this, it doesn't even matter unless it breaks, then you short it from there to there, basically. But otherwise, but the other play with good risk reward is if it touches there, you long it and you stop out like right here. If it continues down. So like, even if you think it's going to go, if you're sitting on support here and you think it's going to go down, what do? You still long if you're like a scalper because you have good risk reward of doing it. Even if you don't think it's going to happen, it's such a small loss with such a small disproportionate upside chance. You only short it if it closes a candle below and then you take the retest. Sounds weird, but tis the case. Do you want to look at sushi, USDT? Not really. No. Eat some sushi. Scott, how long do you spend on charting a coin before entering position? You're looking at it. This would be my process. I don't really take much time. Draw a couple lines, make a decision. If I think it looks good, I'm in. And then I just set alarms and kind of go about my life. Yeah. Ooh, someone asked for injective. I haven't looked at that. I know I'm not generally taking these requests, but I love this coin. It's been a great trade. I mean, we trade, if you're in the newsletter, we've been trading it literally since down here. Entry is all the way up. We had an entry here where I drew this, and it had one retest on that one. Never retested this, but it retested this. Never retested that, and it retested that. All great long entries. So maybe you look for this line again. But you have a clear sort of bull flag on this, or at least a descending channel, right? Something like this. So break above that, or test down here. So like this would be a savage entry. If it did this, bounced here at the same place for both of these, and then went up, that'd be awesome. So yeah, that's what I would be viewing that. I traded injective on Uniswap. Glenn, where would you recommend people learn to trade? Again, it's in the description, howtotradetowin.com. That was Chris, Texas West Capital. He was my mentor. So like I traded forever. I was kind of mediocre at it. I had basic charting skills, had some stuff, and he basically like sharpened my toolbox, 3 or 4 years ago. Taught me how to control my emotions, taught me how to, look at a chart, how to be quick about it. So Scott, please take a look at DIA Bitcoin. Really interesting situation. You know what? I'm going to look at it. But if it's not really interesting, I'm going to put you in timeout. Deal? Oh, guys. You have I would long Bitcoin, personally. I'm not going to do it because I'm with you on a live stream. I would long this. I might get wrecked. You might lose. This is what I see on DIA Bitcoin. I don't see it as very interesting. I'm putting you in timeout. Just kidding. I'm not going to put you in timeout, but kind of looks like ran into resistance, but it is kind of doing a bit of a bullish consolidation here. And if you're zoomed in here on the 4 hour, if it holds this line, maybe, or this area or something, I don't know. I would have said this line, but there's all this action below it. I don't really find that interesting, honestly. No insult. Might be interesting to you, not interesting to me. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to look at more charts over here. So where do you recommend people to trade? Even on leverage trades, same process. Yeah, what's the matter? Leverage doesn't matter. You just have less room for error, so you have to calculate your position size correctly, accounting for leverage. What do we got? 1 more minute. This is like the Super Bowl. We play like I feel like we could play the final countdown. Oh, there's a countdown on here. So we got what? 22, 20, 19, 18, 17. Watch this. 13, 12, 11, 10. I was going to do. We did it. Bullish divergence. Could still go down. Could still go down and make another bull div. But to me, that's bullish divergence. This is a long signal and kind of a bottom signal since it's already hit oversold. I would long Bitcoin there. Personally, my strategy right now, like if I cared enough, like my whole stack is Bitcoin, basically like 70% of my holdings or something, 60. So I'm not rushing off to leverage trade, but like if I was doing this all day, I would be going to long that right now. Personally. Yep. And I I think we're good. I think we're about done. So thank you. Oh, look, the thing happened again. Did I fix it? Oh, I fixed it. I don't know how I'm going to stop that from happening so often though. Some camera setting. Guys, this has been fun. Awesome. We'll do it again at least once this week. Check out the newsletter. It's awesome. Consider along at some point, maybe, or get wrecked and go short. I don't know. Either one could be good. My signal is there for a long, but that doesn't mean that it's right. We all know that, right? Did we close in the range though? Yeah, we did. These are pretty nice candles. Pretty nice candles. Pretty nice candles. So once again, thank you guys. Really awesome. I had a good time and I appreciate you showing up. So peace out.